My name is Dan Everett, and yes, I know about the Black Panther Party, even though I was in high school when they were really popular in the black community. They started off as a community organization. They did a lot of good. They stood up for African American people back when it was not I guess hunky dory to stand up for yourself. And they got into a lot of trouble because of that. They were infiltrated by the FBI, and so what they did was they basically started a lot of stuff, and a lot of guys that infiltrated actually worked for the FBI, and they got a bad name. They did believe in violence. If you come at me with violence, then we're gonna come at you with violence. But again, they did a lot of it in the community. When I was in high school, I remember going to a Black Panther rally. I snuck out the house, didn't tell my parents where I was going, but it was pretty cool. They had leaders like Huey Newton was the one that started the Black Panther Party. You had Angela Davis, who's a professor at San Francisco State University now, but Eldridge Cleaver was one of the leaders of the Black Panther Party. I mean, they had a lot of leaders in the African American community back then, and they did a lot of good. But again, the establishment took them down, and they had raids by the FBI. Some people say they were assassinated by a lot of the FBI. The one in the raid that they had, I think it was in Chicago or Detroit, where they came in and shooting and killed a lot of the Black Panther Party. So yeah, overall, I think that they did they were perfect for the time. They needed it. And again, there was actually a dinner recently where I heard about. It was like a 40-year reunion of the Black Panther Party. But again, you only hear the negative stuff, but you don't hear about all the stuff they used to do to help out in the community as far as education and feeding kids, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much my take on the Black Panther Party.
The Black Panther Party, a revolutionary African American movement that was founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in the 1960s in Oakland, California, to fight the U.S. government to protect the minorities and promote black power.
Huey Newton and Bobby Seale grew up together in Oakland, California, and kept contact throughout their childhood. Before they created the Black Panther Party, they were a part of a group called Afro-American Association that was to spread equality and freedom for African Americans.
They felt that no one was taking action upon the issue, so they decided to create the Black Panther movement to take an actual stand. The practices of Malcolm X were deeply rooted in the foundations of the Black Panther Party. Malcolm had represented both a militant revolutionary with the dignity and self-respect to stand up and fight to win equality for all oppressed minorities, while also being an outstanding role model, something the Black Panthers would take to new heights.
During their first protest for a ban against weapons, all 30 members at the protest were arrested. The Black Panthers soon gained notice from this incident and was receiving support from all over the country from African Americans.
All the members in the Black Panther Party were to know all the guidelines by heart and follow the rules at all times.
In January 1969, the first Panthers Free Breakfast for School Children program is initiated at St. Augustine's Church in Oakland. By the end of the year, the Panthers set up kitchens in cities across the whole nation, feeding over 10,000 children every day before they went to school. The Black Panthers would be at a rest of African Americans to make sure there was no brutality. Both Black Panther members and officers would stand facing one another armed with guns, since you were able to carry a gun in the open in California at the time.
In October of 1967, the police arrest Defense Minister of the Panthers, Huey Newton, for killing an Oakland cop, which caused the Free Huey movement. Newton was hospitalized with critical injuries while handcuffed to a gurney and room that was heavily guarded by cops. As a result of his hospitalization and arrest, it led to an outcry of a Free Huey movement. Later, Eldridge Cleaver took leadership of the Black Panthers.
Many of the leaders, especially Huey Newton, became lost and did not want to lead the group anymore. Huey Newton became heavily involved with heroin and cocaine. He was gunned down in Oakland because of a drug exchange on August 22nd, 1989. Do you believe that the Black Panther Party took a stand?
I think they took a big stand. That's why they got into a lot of trouble, because back then, African Americans were not supposed to take a stand. And they did. They said, you know what, you mess with us, we'll mess with you. And they got the ear of the FBI, who was run by Herbert, what's his name, Hoover, was the head of the FBI, and he was a known racist. So again, back then, he would not allow anyone of any type of color to be in the FBI at the time. So he hated Martin Luther King, he hated the Black Panther Party, any people of color he did not like.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Yes, they did take a stand. The Black Panther Party took a large stand against police brutality and people who hated African Americans. They got in a lot of trouble because back then African Americans didn't have a strong voice of opinion, but the Black Panthers did. The Black Panthers knew the FBI was onto them, and the head of the FBI was J. Edgar Hoover, who was known as a racist. They didn't allow people of color to work for the FBI. And Hoover hated people of color and people like Martin Luther King Jr., which is why he didn't like the Black Panther Party.